Today it is once again time to play the $400 weekly ESL code with challenges, and today is a special edition because we are going to be playing on the balanced test mode. All those patch changes you saw a while ago, we're going to be playing those and using them in this tournament, and I'm going to be doing strategies only centered around the buffed, nerfed, changed or reworked units. Let's do it. Alright, our first opponent is a Master League Protoss. I think there are two changes in particular that I'm interested in trying out today. Now the first one is the massive Raven rework. If you guys forgot what that was, basically Raven builds faster, it's cheaper, and the abilities are nerfed. Now, in the balanced Discord, some changes have been discussed and some changes are made, so I believe they changed a few things. And I believe they were... I'm trying to think, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to think of what they were, so my speech is a little bit weird. They removed the fact that it starts with more energy. And they also nerfed the auto turret like 4 times. I think that's basically what the change was. But the Raven is still going to build fast. I'm still going to use it for detection and stuff. I just need to figure out the perfect way to do it. So the first strategy I have in mind is to play a standard TVP with 1-1-1. But then instead of getting 1 Raven, I want to get 2 because they build faster. 2 Ravens obviously still going to take more time than 1 Raven before. But you can make them in about 1 minute. I think they take 30 seconds to build now instead of 43, I want to say. So if you have a map like this, I did obviously choose the map for it. You have a lot of airspace here and here. If your opponent does not play Stargate, I think you can just make 2 Ravens and just keep dropping auto turrets everywhere. That's one of the first things I want to try. And besides that, if your opponent goes for something like Colossi, you actually have extra interference matrices, so you can disable the Colossus, you can disable the Prism if it's microing the Colossus or if it's trying to warp in, Immortals, Archons, etc. So I think that could actually be a pretty nice strategy to do against Protoss. For that, we are going to have to play pretty standard, however, which is not usually my jam, but I just want to see what the impact of the Raven really is on this scenario, right? And I think in the next game, it's a best of 3, by the way, so regardless if I win or lose, there's going to be a next game. I would love to try out the Cyclones. What they changed about the Cyclone is that before getting any upgrades, the Cyclone does 20 damage flat on lock-on. And what it used to do before as well was that if you got the upgrade Magfield Accelerator, it would do 40 damage, but only against armored. And now they changed that to being 30 damage against everything. Now, once again, do not get confused. This patch is not out yet. These are potential balance test nodes. And ESL is using these to, you know, for the ESL Cups, the weekly cups, because the off-season is here. You can't earn points anymore. You still can earn a good amount of money. And there's a lot of pro gamers playing. And we can test out the changes this way, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. This game so far... I don't know why he gave away that pro, by the way. That was... yeah, I mean, it was basically a free probe. He was trying to be annoying. Instead, he just gave me a probe. I guess he was a little bit annoying. So I guess he was successful in that regard. Let's see. There's... Okay, I was going to say there's no pylon here, but there is one pylon. Let's see if we can find the tech. I think... Actually, I'm going to decide to do this. If we scout it's a Stargate, I'm going to use the Cyclones. If we scout that it's not a Stargate, I'm going to use the Ravens. Because... yeah, Ravens against Phoenixes, that's just... If you guys have ever had that interaction in your ladder games, you probably cried. If you did, don't worry about it. It's very normal. But yeah, they do not do anything against Phoenixes, so... I do definitely have to scout before I decide to get into this, you know, kind of play. Oh, this looks like that I got a hit on myself there. Let's go. Let's get that back. Doesn't look like this is... Yeah, I was gonna say. Stalker usually is the sign that is not a Stargate. I might be able to escape here. Oh, no. Sucks. Okay, but we scouted the Twilight. That's most important. I do think I need some... Wait, he's just gonna walk in here? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I thought he was really just gonna give his life to me. That does mean I have to make my barracks later. Because... Oh, let me just explain this real quick. If you play a standard 3-1-1 against Protoss, you always want to swap the add-ons. You want to be very efficient in which add-ons you build. So this tech lab is going to be for the barracks later on. But now, since I'm going to make 2 Ravens, it's not going to be done in time. So the timing might actually be a little bit more awkward here. The Raven does also cost 50 gas cheaper, or it is 50 gas cheaper, which is fantastic. So that is makes it a little bit easier to get 2 out. Actually, they made so many changes to the Raven, I honestly forgot a few of them. It's I think right now I have them all in order, but it was it was a little bit confusing there for a sec. So here you can see, normally you can swap these add-ons, but yeah, it's simply just not ready yet because I need to make a second Raven. Should have calculated that in, but that's a mistake that, you know, we learn now and we won't make it again. Now I'm gonna start abusing this Raven right away. Let's move it to the airspace, get my second Raven on the way. Little bit of... It's pretty hard to click over a mule there. My SFVs were actually following each other instead of mining. Bunch of silly geese, as I like to call them. One thing you do have to be scared of is a 4-gate blink attack. Gonna put a little bit of a spotter out here to counter that potential attack. Do not want to die to a few blink stalkers. That would be a little bit sad. The attack should hit at about 5 minutes. I find usually they do a version that hits a little bit later, maybe at 5:20. Let me send out a Marine here as well. And you could think these Marines are a waste of money if I would lose them to Stalkers, but actually not dying to a few Stalkers is way more valuable. If they blink in and kill my tank, that's... Oh, there's actually a third base here, so there's no 4-gate blink. If he would blink atop my tank, that's way more damage. Now, this auto turret is weaker. Let's see what it can kill. It is 8 seconds. Normally, it's 10 seconds. Looks like it can still kill 4 probes in the maximum. I guess before it was 5 or 6. Probably 5 sounds about right, because it's only a 2 seconds difference. But now it can still kill 4 workers, which is pretty good. And you can see that, you know, these 2 Ravens are going to be annoying for the rest of the game here, unless you have some kind of anti-air. And what I love about this so much is normally, this is countered by a simple shield battery. 1 shield battery, you can't go anything with the Raven, that's it. But if you have 2 Ravens, they might never get to a point where the shield battery can really out-heal it. Because if you're dropping 2 turrets at the same time, that's pretty sick. Now, I should keep that Raven there. And this map actually looks crazy for this, by the way. Both of these Ravens cover 2 bases, if you think about it. Now, I wonder where his Stalkers are. It feels like he's trying to ambush me. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually so many probes falling. Let's see. Yeah, 100% you can kill 4. We just saw it. You can kill 4 probes with that. That is the max. I think you can't even get 1 more hit off after killing 4. But I am already just completely torturing him at this play. I haven't even really had to do anything yet. But these Ravens are just costing him so much mining time, so many probes. And yeah, I like the idea the most that I just described. You can even synergize them because now it looks great. And you might think, bro, if they have a shield battery in each mineral line, this doesn't do anything. But then I can go for the synergize move and just put 2 turrets in the same mineral line and be very painful that way. Now, I do not want to die to a simple prism, so I'm going to come back here. That is actually just concussive shell, so I don't mind. Wonder if I can trick him by doing this. I'm leaving 2 Widow Mines behind there. Oh, he was trying to ambush me. There we go. Almost got a shot off there. That would have been nice. He's losing every single Zealot here, though. Not paying attention because he's microing in the main. Zealots are even dying there. And I was right about him trying to ambush me because there was just nothing showing up. And I think now we're just going to go for it. I feel like I should have enough. He's really trying hard to kill. It's just concussive shells. You're not denying stim. I know you would like to believe that you are. But that is really just concussive shells. I'm sorry about it. He's probably going to be a little bit upset when he sees that in the replay. That he wasted all that energy just to deny concussive shells. Well, let me get my base. And now, since I killed so many Zealots, I can't... Wait, what is that? Oh, that's 3 Zealots, actually. Normally, I would kill the pylon, but that is just 3 6 Zealots. And there we go. GG is called. And... obviously, I was playing better than my opponent, but I hear the Ravens did look really strong, I want to say. I killed 14 workers. Let's see, how many did the Ravens kill? 6 kills on that, 6 kills on that, 12 kills. And my builder was not that much worse. There's even some things you can do to compensate for the later switch over to the tech labs. You can make your 3rd CC faster, maybe get a 3rd gas instead of the 2nd barracks right away. And this is actually one of the stronger things I could think of, and it looked very strong here. Maybe we'll try it against a stronger Protoss later on, but for now, let's go to game number 2. Second game on Tropical Sacrifice, and this game I'm gonna aim to use Cyclone. So the Ravens, we didn't get to see their full power. Ravens have a lot more utility than what you just saw, but they worked well, and now we're gonna try to use Cyclones. Now, if you guys don't know the history of TVP, I can summarize mech in TVP up pretty fast. It sucks. People have never really been able to use it effectively. Some exceptions have been there, of course. One of those exceptions is me. I was actually one of the players that... I mean, you guys know me by my challenges. I just love doing weird strategies and all that. And I was always trying to make mech work. And sometimes I did. A little times I didn't, but sometimes I did. And what I like so much about this Cyclone change is that... it might change things. Like I said, mech has been bad. I have to objectively admit, even as a mech lover, that it is pretty bad. And if I was playing in a big match for a tournament, I would not use it. Or, well, I did sometimes. You know, stupidly enough. But anyway, I think if there's a potential for something to change, it makes me very excited. So what the Cyclone does, a lot of people think it made the Cyclone worse. I think it made the Cyclone more interesting, but I don't know whether it was better or not. But what a Cyclone can do now that it couldn't do before is kill Zealots before, for example. Because with the mag field, after the new upgrade, you kill a Zealot in 5 hits. Before the patch, it was 8 hits. So obviously you can imagine what it looks like when a swarm of Zealots charges you and there's blink stalkers behind it that blink on your Cyclones. and your Cyclones take 8 hits to kill the freaking Zealots. Like, it just takes way too long and your Cyclones are gone. Now, even at this point, I'm not quite sure how I would use the Cyclones, because the biggest problem is kind of, you know, getting to a point where you have enough Cyclones to really lock on and kill all the Zealots. But I think if you figure out a mech opener where you can stabilize and then get mass Cyclones and, you know, somehow have an army that actually trades well against Zealots, which mech usually doesn't, then it could be pretty good. Now, it's all very situational, and I don't know if it's going to work out, but that's my idea. I want to find a nice mech opener. Maybe I'll open, like, Marine Tank, and then go for a couple more factories, and then maybe the Cyclones are going to pop off. That's the dream. Once again, he's giving me his probe for no reason. I'm a little bit sad he didn't learn that from the last game. I always like to see people fix their mistake instantly. That's really the power of StarCraft, you know, problem solving and all that. So I'm actually a little bit sad that he didn't save the probe this time. Lost it for absolutely no reason once again. He didn't even annoy me this time. Well, he annoyed me by losing it, but he didn't actually annoy me in the game. So that's, you know, -1 internet point for, what's his name, Xenops. Next time we don't lose the probe for free. And let's get that gas. And I actually hope he's going to play Stargate now, but because that's where it's going to be better. Okay, so it's a Twilight again. All right, that means we cannot go Cyclone right away. If you play against Stargate, you can actually start producing Cyclones right off the bat, because they're going to be good against Phoenixes. And that's another unit the Cyclone is going to be better against with the patch notes. Because Phoenixes are probably going to die in... How many... Phoenixes are pretty tanky. I don't know how many it is, actually, thinking about it. I don't know. They're gonna die faster, okay? Let's just say that. I don't know the numbers, guys. Leave me alone. But they're gonna die faster. And Phoenixes is actually the most common situation for a Cyclone. So maybe after the patch, you can consider going into mech against Stargate, for example. There's a little bit of hope there. But yeah, it is a Twilight, so... How am I gonna open here? Trying to figure out an efficient way. If you play against Blink, it's probably the best for me. To just go for tanks straight away. I'm even considering doing something crazy here. I could not make a starport unit, just so I can get Cyclones faster. There's a robo there, which means we are 100% going to be attacked by something silly. That most likely means that it's either a 4-gate blink or a Dark Templar drop, because the robo is really fast. So I'm actually going to combine my well, it's not really my challenges, the new broken Terran units. I mean, I don't know if they're broken, but let's have hope, guys. The new broken Terran units, the Cyclone and the Raven, I'm gonna combine them, because the Raven is gonna build faster. It's actually gonna shield me against the potential Dark Templar drop, and then hopefully I can get into Cyclones later on. Now I'm gonna see, I kind of want to make a bunker up here as well. The reason I want to make a bunker there is because I want to go 3cc. Keep in mind, I'm not going to make 3 barracks before my 3rd base or anything, because I want to go into mech, right? And usually that's a pretty good recipe for dying against 4-gate blink, so we're not going to do that. Notice how fast the Raven builds, by the way. Super, super nice. If there was a... This is actually very notable, by the way. If you guys die to DTs a lot, your Raven is just going to be more on time. That timing is actually... It's 13 seconds faster, guys. It's very nice. Now, this game, I am going to keep it at home, just so I can... you know, defend against the Prism or against DTs or whatever are gonna come in. I'm gonna put a tank here as well. I still think this is likely to be 4-gate blink. You always need to keep in mind, and this is usually the advice I give to lower MMR players, but even, you know, at this rank it applies. You always have to keep in mind your opponent could just be doing a weird build, right? Maybe his build is just completely efficient and he made a really fast robo, and he doesn't really know why. He was just afraid of something cloaked. I'm just saying something, right? That could totally be the case. So, can't 100% say that it's going to be something yet, but we'll see. I'm playing it very safe anyway. I'm already getting mag filled for my Cyclones. Probably get an eBay. I can actually send a spotter out real quick, just to make sure there's not actually a 4-gate blink. At this point, it seems like it's already too late. I have seen some pretty tragic situations before where the Raven moves out and then the DTs walk in or something. So, you know, a little bit wary for that, but it's probably going to be fine. I actually have a scan in the bank. I'm not going to use it for that exact reason. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different. Normally, you go for a balanced mix of add-ons. So you'd make like 3 tech labs and 2 reactors, or the other way around. But since I really want to play heavy Cyclone, I'm actually going to go for 4 tech labs here. See if it's going to work out. There's an observer somewhere, which annoys me. But I'll probably manage to find it before long. Okay, so there's a Robo Bay. That's already different than last game. I don't have to be afraid of a mass amount of Zealots coming in. Now let's just start using some auto turrets. I didn't target that. Good reaction by him. He punished me for not microing that properly. Well done. If I targeted it right away, I would have killed a probe, which makes that worthwhile right now. Not so worthwhile. So this... Oh, what? Oh, no, I mish-hotkeyed it. I actually really didn't try to pull that back. I think I... Not sure what I pressed. I might have even pressed F2 on accident. That was really not intentional. But as I was going to say, there is already a forced small change of plans. I'm actually going to... Oh, this is something cool, guys. I'm going to actually combine the broken Terran units. I'm going to make more Ravens to maybe deal with this with the Colossi. I was just about to say, Colossi is a very, very strong counter to Cyclones. The reason why, they have long range. Cyclones can't get close enough to get the lock-on. And they take way too much damage every time you go for a lock-on. But what if I get a lot of Ravens out? Now they build cheaper and faster. And then I just disable the Colossi. Go in with my supposedly all-killing Cyclones. At least that's, you know, that's what I hope for. Maybe that is actually going to be a fantastic play. Let's try that out. Normally, I would just be making more tanks right now. In this case, I think Cyclone Raven is actually going to be a pretty cool experiment. Let's try to make sure I have enough depots. I don't have enough SCVs as I would have liked. I do feel a little bit poor here. Maybe I can even the playing field by getting some nice shots. There we go. It's a pretty good start. He's not responding yet, which is nice. I think we're going to kill about 10 workers or so. Not sure how much it was exactly, but it was pretty good. And then our first new Raven has finished. Let's see if there's a... Yeah, there's a fourth base already too. Well, there's one move I can do. Since the Cyclone also kills Zealots now, I might be able to be more mobile with them. Pretty sure I just killed an observer, by the way. I didn't see it, but I heard a sound. Was that another observer? Let's see. Yeah, he's moving out. Now, we're gonna see. These Zealots are actually gonna die to these Cyclones now, which is pretty sick. Oh, that's actually way faster, isn't it? Yeah, 20 damage each. Very nice. Drop a turret. I killed an observer already, which is fantastic. And basically, we just killed a bunch of units for free there. That was a massive success. Now, you know, I did invest a lot in these Cyclones, and they're not the best battle units, so we're gonna need more than that. But that did already look pretty promising. I do really like the idea of making a lot more Ravens too, just so I can actually deal with the... Well, it's not the best counter to Colossus, to be fair, but there is an idea, okay? That's important. There's an idea to counter with the Colossus where you're not just surrendering ourselves to the idea of being slaughtered by some Colossi. And that is already pretty promising in itself. Now, I do need an armory, mostly for servos. Cyclones don't actually use the upgrades, by the way, with the lock-on. It's spell damage, so upgrades don't really matter. Now, this is where the Cyclone is going to be a lot worse here. It is when you try to kill buildings. Now, this fight also looks quite good, actually, for us. Might even be able to continue attacking here. Let's pull this one back. Try to take the base over here. That was a really good disruptor here. I think there was 4 Cyclones going down. Also a pretty good counter to the Cyclone here. But keep in mind, we're doing a lot of damage. He's actually going back. No, okay, there's a cannon. If the cannon wasn't there, I definitely would have gone for that Nexus. Right now, I'm just going to decide not to. Let's take this base. Keep in mind, these Zealots are now actually going to die. Okay. He's probably here with his army, so we have to be very careful. Let's get our +1 armor. Let's get our servos upgrade. Try to start mining at the same time. Also have a 4th command center that's ready. And yeah, you could tell he was looking for me, but he didn't find me, so that's fantastic. How about you guys start mining? Looked like they were revolting there for a second. What are you guys doing? Gotta do your job. I can't win without money, guys. Even if you're afraid here of those scary, scary Colossi. Now that looks like another observer that's ready to be sniped. Ooh, this is going to be an exciting one, guys. Can I disable all the units in time? That is the question. I still have a bunch of tanks that are just kind of chilling back at home. I want them to stay here. They are pretty much my, you know, my assurance back at home, I guess I want to say. And I have so many Cyclones. I can actually kill this army here, guys. Keep in mind, I have the freaking interference matrix on the Colossi. There we go. Oh, I did get the same one twice. That's actually a little bit unfortunate to get another one. And now all these units are kind of melting to my all-killing Cyclones. There's up a turret there. That freaking... oh, that's actually a little bit of an attack. Even that Disruptor died. And it feels like all of his units are just getting obliterated by the Raven Cyclone composition. And there's not much more for him to say there. Gotta be careful for those Disruptors. And probably kill those with one tap. If I try... Oh my god, that will... Please, guys. Please do not try that at home. That's disgusting what I just did, okay? Please do not do that. I don't know why I did that. That's insane. And let's just move forward here. Make sure we don't get disrupted. And once again, these Zealots can actually die to the Cyclones now, which is fantastic. He has a lot of money. He might have a 5th base here. Or a base up here. No, he doesn't. Okay, he just had a lot of money in the bank, I suppose. Now let's get my beautiful Cyclones killing these Zealots. Ah, look at it. They're actually dying. I love this so much. I haven't really seen it before, to be fair. Oh, let's do some magic splitties. Wait, did I lose nothing to that? Oh my, that was actually a magic splitty. There we go. Wow, it's called GG. He's impressed by the Cyclones. I'm impressed by the Cyclones. You guys are impressed with the Cyclones. That's why you're going to subscribe and like the video right now. Anyway, I think that was really cool. I don't think I got too far ahead in the early game. I was kind of defending an attack that didn't hit. But the Raven Cyclone on the map, every observer died. The Zealots actually melted. And just getting more Ravens to disable the Colossi, admittedly, didn't use them too well. Little bit of mismicro here and there. Matrix the same Colossus twice. But I think it looked pretty cool. It looked promising. Probably going to have to try against better opponents later on. I think our next opponent up is going to be a pretty high Grandmaster Terran. So that's pretty hype. Let's do it. Alright, we're playing against the rank 47 Grandmaster in Europe, a TVT. And TVT might be the matchup that is most impacted by these patch notes. Ravens, I've said it many times, guys, probably the most powerful unit in TVT. Absolutely unstoppable, staple of the early game, mid game, and late game. Cyclones, also stable in a different way. You always make a Cyclone to defend early on. Don't usually play mass Cyclones. Unless you're me in this tournament, of course. Now, I think both Cyclones and Ravens are good. I think they can be used in the same composition too. I think that's one thing I really want to try more than anything else. Is try to get some kind of mass Cyclone Raven thing going. With the Ravens building faster, maybe you can just destroy every siege line by interference matrixing every single time, right? At the same time, the Cyclone definitely has some different interaction with units after the patch. So before, Marines would get 3-shot, now it's 2. So a Marine ball is gonna die very, very fast. Ravens, I'm not quite sure. I feel like a Raven is 120 health. It could be a little bit more, but it's gonna die in 4 or 5 hits instead of 6 or 7. Those are a pretty big deal. And I think that's about it. A Hellion is gonna die faster. And wait, a Reaper is actually gonna die in 2 hits. That's pretty crazy. But Reaper and Hellion, they kind of get owned by Cyclones anyway, so it's not gonna be a big impact. But I'm still curious to see how it's gonna go. I think the Raven might make this style more viable, because you're just gonna have more interference matrices. You might be able to, yeah, kill, like before, maybe you could only bust tank lines where there were 2 or 3 tanks. Maybe now I can bust 5 tanks, you know, who knows? Guess we're gonna have to see how it works out. Now, I play against Zistel. Zistel is a bit of a sneaky one. He does like his cheeses and stuff, so I'm gonna have to be very careful here. Let's see, first of all, what is up in his main base. He's walling his main base off. It looks like he wants to make a factory there, though. Yeah, there we go. Pretty sure that should have built it outside of my vision. If you're gonna wall off, you might as well make use of it. Most Terrans don't wall off anymore, like you can see. I'm using my second depot to get vision over here on that cliff. If you're gonna use it to wall off, you might as well hide the factory too, because then it could be a 2x Reaper, a hidden second barracks, proxied, I mean. Obviously 2 different versions. But yeah, he just gave me all his info, and now all he's missing is a little bit of vision. Doesn't sound like a big deal. It's not really a big deal. Unless he loses to me sneaking in 2 Reapers here and killing 5 workers, then he's probably gonna regret his choice just slightly. I do think on this map it's a little bit suspect to jump up 2 ramps, because if there's something here, you're just gonna be in trouble. 2 jumps, definitely gonna mean a little bit of a negative fighting experience, I guess you could say. Now here's what I was thinking. Maybe I can just add a second factory right away. Or should I go for... I think the second factory makes more sense here. We're just going to go for it. Second factory. Macfield can come later. Maybe once we have a third gas. Also still need to make a starport. Though Ravens could totally be just a late game transition still. Even if they make faster. That means you're also going to make them faster in the late game, right? Ooh, that's going to be a very fast SCV kill there. That's what I'm talking about. He's actually losing a few SCVs because of the lack of vision there. That is a mistake. And he's actually getting punished for it. Now, I have to say... He was pretty lucky that my Reaper didn't get the right SCV there in that stack. But still, 2 SCVs gonna put me slightly ahead. TVT is a weird matchup, guys. Losing 2 SCVs already really sucks because you're playing double gas. As you can see, even right now, I only have 26 SCVs. He's gonna have 24, which is definitely a big difference. Or it's not a massive difference. I'm making it sound like it's a massive difference. It's all right. I'm feeling pretty good about this, but it's not gonna be the game breaker. Let's put it that way. Let's try to get these SCVs down here. I also denied his starport for a little bit, I believe, right? So maybe his medevac is going to be later. I am wondering how I need to move my units. Because if you play Cyclones, you're really good at intercepting things on the map. But at the same time, if there's a siege tank here or there, Cyclones do not want to run into that anymore. I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to deal with it. I think I want to send both of these Cyclones out. One thing that's really scary is I could be running into Widow Mines, by the way. Widow Mines one-shot Cyclones if you didn't know that. So, yeah, that sounds like an absolute nightmare. I mean, I could, because this map is a lot of bushes. There we go. There is something in my main. And now I think I might have the perfect build for this. I'm gonna lock onto that really fast. There we go. Oh, he's actually gonna unload, but he's gonna lose his Cyclone for it, which is an interesting choice. And now mine are gonna come in. I'm gonna be able to kill his Cyclones really fast. Lower that depot, and then there's not that much more left to do damage here. He's actually gonna go for it, which is a mistake at this point, because he's... I was gonna say he's gonna kill 1 SCV for that, but instead he killed 0. But it did do some counter damage back. I don't know how much it was, but I still have perfect saturation, so I can't imagine that it was too much. Now, I do have to say... He scouted my entire strategy now. He saw I had double factory. I can only imagine he's going to bunker up, put a tank high up here, or maybe even there. So I'm going to play a little bit more economical from this point on. I have 5 Cyclones. I killed a medevac, which usually means they're not going to, you know, have something to fly in your base with again. This is a greedy move that I'm doing. I could totally get punished for this. But I'm going to skip a few Cyclones to make a 3rd CC on location. Keep in mind I have complete map control with this style. If he did somehow have a build where he makes another attack, then we might be in a little bit of trouble for doing this. But if he doesn't, then we're just going to get a little bit of a faster 3rd base. We have control of the map, and that's going to be perfectly fine. I think Ravens is the thing I need the most right now anyway, because I need vision up here to do damage. Sometimes what Terrans will do is they'll make their 3rd command center like right here, and then you can just snipe it from the low ground, which is absolutely brutal. Now, what is my follow-up going to be from here? I could make siege tanks. I could also just keep going with the mass Cyclone stuff. Or a mix of both would probably be the healthiest. Should I make even more Ravens? I know I should be mindful, because they did nerf the auto turrets, right? The auto turrets are normally really good, as you guys might have seen in my Raven Hellion to Master series. They're not that good anymore, so I need to be keeping that in mind when I want to go for a mass Raven play. You can see they're building very fast. I'm gonna get a lot of Ravens out, and he is just like I expected. He is hardcore chilling. He's not gonna move out. He's bunkered up, and he's gonna allow me to take my 3rd base, but at the same time his 3rd is also finished. And I kind of need to find the balance between sending the perfect amount of units to his base. I don't want to be killed by like a drop or anything, but I also don't want him to get his base too easily. That's excuse me. That's the thing. I'm gonna make a few more gas. I'm really intending to just play mass Cyclone. Let's see. Okay, few Marines dying very fast. That's nice. But obviously he still has... There we go, 2 more Marines going down. Those actually would have survived. Those would have survived if it wasn't for the buffed or the changed Mac field. Still not sure whether it's a buff or a nerf, but with the changed Mac field, those were actually 2 kills, which is nice. I like to see that my methods are working, you know, even if I'm not winning the game, 2 extra Marines, that's a big plus right there. Now let's see what his setup looks like. I'm gonna get a 4th Raven. Can I bust him with just this amount of Ravens? I don't know. And it's also a question of, if I interfere his matrix everything he has, does that make me win the fight? Right. Can I kill these from the top, for example? How many... Oh, yeah, I think it does have enough energy, right? Yeah, it does. Okay, let's see. There we go. Let's get a few lock-ons. Let's see how much I got. He did drop a few auto turrets. Oh, I only got that one. Okay, I did miss the second one. Oh, Ravens do take more damage as well. I need to remember that one. Try to snipe some. But yeah, it's very tough to actually go in situations like there. I'm going to make another starport. I'm just going to do it. Not for the auto turrets. I just want so many matrices that I can actually safely matrix everything. It's obviously a very risky approach, because I need enough Cyclones to not just die to the bio, right? I do think Zistel is typically a very campy player, so it's going to be tough to win against that. Like, that is probably the nightmare. I would have loved a little bit of chaos. Chaos would have been just fantastic for me. It doesn't look like I'm going to get chaos, though, unless I create it myself. Oh, yeah, Ravens are also cheaper. I keep looking at my gas. I'm like, oh, I don't have 200 yet. I can't make one. But they're actually only 150 gas now. Need to keep that in mind. You guys go mine, please. Now, should I... Let's see, I'm going to make a few turrets anyway. I was debating whether to do it, but it's probably the smartest. Now, this map is pretty rough for this, because as you can see, he just has so many tanks parked in the same location. And he can defend all of his bases with that. Gonna have to see whether I can break through at some point. Let's get a few More infrastructure. There we go. Okay, oh, yeah, he's going for drops, exactly. That's important to note. So the drops are definitely on the table here. Maybe I'll get a few more random turrets or something. Send that army to the bottom. Wait. Guys, if he's not paying attention here. Oh, that could have been nice. Imagine if I caught all of those. Let's see, trying to see if the drop is on the bottom side here. Get some more turrets up here would be nice. Now, my army is super mobile, so I don't necessarily need to be in position all the time. But I don't want my base to get denied, right? Like, that would be a little bit tragic. Ooh, we're getting a little bit of a base trade here. Let's see. I can even go back here. Yeah, he wants to go back because he knows I can just freeze his units and kill them. He doesn't want that to happen. Now, I did run out of scans. Let's see. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Oh, what? Something was siege that killed me. Was it only that tank? It looked like it was more. Okay, I guess I can just go in here, to be honest, if he wants that. Okay, let's see. No, I don't think I can actually... Need to kill that tank. Oh, it's gonna be a little bit too slow, guys. I needed like one more matrix. I didn't have it, and this fight is a little bit too bad, I think. Oh, and that's gonna cost it. Well, I still have a good amount of units actually available. It's not the end yet, I don't think. Let's see what I can do here. I can kill a lot of the marines, especially. That's important. There we go. A little bit of kiting being done. Maybe some more free marines. There we go. A good amount of lock-ons there, actually. Okay. Let's see if I can drop some turrets here to help me with that. Oh, they're actually quite bad now. Holy, turrets suck. Okay. We are not dropping those anymore. That is good to know for the future. Turrets are the worst thing I've ever seen. Pretty much got one-shot by the tank and the marine there. Now, maybe I can... No, stop doing that, please. Okay. No, you guys don't have energy. Yeah, there's just not much I can do here anymore, guys. I think the style is still a little bit too fragile, sadly. Let's try to go in here now. Let's see what he has. I do have enough units to break this, I think. Wish I had some more stuff on that. The turrets could at least soak some damage. So I'm gonna clean him up. I did lose the command center, I believe. Let's see. Those marauders are gonna die actually a little bit slower. That is one thing that's important. The marauders are gonna die slower after the patch. That is one thing that makes the Cyclone weaker. Didn't think that was really an interaction I had to think about, to be fair. At least the marines are dying very fast. That's nice. See if I can dodge that. Nah, I mean, at this point, we have lost the game. I don't have SCVs left, really. Do I have... If I had another base, I would be tempted to try this. But I just don't have another base to land. Here we go. I guess it's going to be a pretty nice round, but all these Cyclones are such low HP, and that is going to be it. Cyclone Raven in TVT is a massive fail. I don't consider this to just be a fail. I think this was a massive fail. This looked like it had no potential whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, the style is a fail, but you can still open with Cyclones and Ravens, I think. Maybe the second factory is a little bit too committal. My third CC was at the same time, so that's pretty nice. But I think, yeah, dismantling Cyclones has absolutely no potential. The Marines and Ravens dying faster doesn't make up for just the weakness of the Cyclone in terms of defensive stats. And if you want to play mech against Terran, I mean, this for me 100% confirms that you will still have to base yourself around normal mech. And yeah, I don't think the Cyclone really adds that much, to be honest. I think nothing's going to change for TVT mech. I'm pretty sure about it. For regular bio TVT, however, I think there's some very interesting things to try. And remember, this is a best of 3. We're still in it. So let's go. Game 2 on Moondance. Now, my verdict so far is that Cyclones are bad. The Ravens seem pretty good, however. So what I'm going to do this game is maybe shift away from the Cyclones a little bit, but try to keep the focus on making a lot of Ravens. Keep in mind, 3 Ravens now build almost as fast as 2 Ravens before, right? So maybe you can just do build, because there's even 3 Raven builds. I wouldn't be surprised if now you could get 4 or 5 Raven builds in this bust through. Not quite sure how you would fit that in the builder, but that's kind of a dream. I still think I want to try something different with the Cyclones later on, but I'm gonna figure it out, see, you know, what works and what doesn't. Obviously, I'll read your comments. If you guys have any cool ideas what builds I can do with Cyclones, then let me know. And hopefully you guys will give me some inspiration. Now, I would like to do something cheesy with the Raven, because I just feel like there might just be an absolute killer build where you just get a lot of Ravens early on and just, like, walk over your opponent. Like, maybe the 2 starport all-ins. Not sure if you guys remember those. The 2 starport all-ins where you go for siege tanks and a second starport before a third command center, get a really sick amount of air control, and just walk over the opponents. Maybe that kind of stuff is really strong now. I would like to actually test that out. Here we go. Normal SCV scout. Scouting a little bit earlier than in the last game because this map is pretty small. Rush distance is short and will arrive at his base pretty... I think it's about 30 seconds actually. A lot of maps is almost 40 and this map is 30 seconds, so that is pretty fast. Now I would expect my opponent to play largely the same. At this point, there's always an additional layer of mind games I have to incorporate because I think all my opponents honestly know that I'm YouTubing, right? At this point, he just thinks I'm gonna do something silly again. Maybe my challenge is mass cyclones. Maybe my challenge is to play Cyclone Raven. He doesn't know. He just knows I'm playing something silly. Undoubtedly. So what is he gonna do to counter that? Probably play the same solid style he did last game. Last game, the only thing that really kind of fell apart was the medevac drop. But besides that, there was nothing really bad about it, right? He played solid. He defended against my memes. At points or at times he was maybe slightly out of position against the Cyclones, but besides that, it was a very clean game for him. And I couldn't imagine him switching from that style, because from his POV, that was an easy game. You guys are watching this from me. You see all the emotion and the drama and my ideas that fall apart. From his POV, he sat back and he A-moved me, and it was an easy victory, right? So why would he not repeat that? Now I'm going for the reactor opening, very fast reactor, and then I'm gonna try to transition in that double starport style. I'm not sure if this is the best opening to go into the double starport style from, but I'm just gonna try it out. No, this is my favorite TVT opening, so we'll see how it goes. This is the thing I'm the most comfortable with, really, usually. Outside of, you know, making 5 ravens and going for a really wacky all-in, this is what I'm usually pretty comfortable with. Now, what did he do last game? I think he went three units into the medevac drop was with a Cyclone. He actually did a build that is normally a tank drop, but in his version, it was a Cyclone drop. So that is still pretty much the same build. I mean, a Cyclone costs about as much as a tank. I think it's a little bit cheaper, right? Yeah, it's 25 gas cheaper, but besides that, it's quite literally the same build. Oh yeah, they also made the Liberator 25 gas cheaper, by the way. I don't think that's relevant whatsoever for any of my builds. I think that's mostly relevant for like late game transitions and stuff, which is nice. For now, I don't think I'm going to do anything with the Liberator specifically for that. Let's see, let's get a double tech lab, make some Marines. I'm going to move across with this little squad over here. Now this squad has the potential to end games. Usually it doesn't, but it could. Which would be nice. I mean, if that is the case, then, you know, I didn't really get to use any of my new units, but obviously this is a tournament. I'm not just gonna let people live. Okay, this actually, look at this drag. Oh, we got a really good drag there on the Widow Mine, straight into his units. Low HP on the Hellion, low HP on the Reaper, and there we go. We're gonna bust him. He does have a Cyclone, but we should be able to get out there with a bunch of units. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right. And it was mostly because of that Hellion drag. I think we were gonna win that fight anyway. But the Hellion drag made that very convincing. If you guys didn't see what happened, you could go back and check a little bit. But basically, I just dragged his own Widow Mine friendly fire into his units. That is something you can do with very fast units like Hellions or Zerglings. I think Zerglings are definitely the best at that because they're very small. Hellions a little bit bigger, a little bit more clunky. But even then, it does work out very well sometimes. Now I'm going to make my starport here, because I actually want to fly that starport to the reactor after this Raven. Get those units out as fast as possible. Keep my own units here. And it really feels to me, I'm not sure if you guys have a good feeling for TVT builds, but it feels like I'm getting Ravens incredibly fast. Like, this is just... I don't have a tank yet, and I have 2 Ravens out. Now, that's actually crazy. That's really crazy. I mean, if you think about it, 2 Ravens, they finish 24 seconds faster, I want to say. 60 instead of 84. Does that check out? Something like that, anyway. I think if anything, I'm pretty sure I was pretty close, so good enough. I'll take it. They build a lot faster anyway. Let's make sure to keep roaming his base. Don't want him to move out for free. And this push could actually be incredible. How many Ravens am I gonna have for this? I'm not sure if I have the gas to afford all that, but I'm getting pretty excited, that's all I can say. Let's see if there's anything on top of here. Nothing really. Oh, okay. We are memeing each other. Watch this. Oh, the Cyclone bait! What a Cyclone. That's actually pretty sick. I think we're memeing each other, guys. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Let's see, is he gonna... No, he's not. Okay. And I'm saying that because he doesn't have a reactor on that barracks. He's either playing double starport, or double factory, or his build sucks. And if his build sucks, that's good for us, and it doesn't matter. So I guess we're just going to keep focusing on our own build. Now, I'm going to have 4 ravens for this attack. Also going to be able to make a 30C behind it, which I can conveniently plant in my back garden over here. Let's see. 4 gases. I mean, he is making Vikings, not an indicator. I think what this is, I think I have a decent understanding now. It seems like he's going for mech in a greedy way because he has the back base available. So he's not even pretending to make Marines. He thinks he doesn't need them to survive. And he's just, yeah, he planted a 3rd here, and soon he will be adding factories. I think that's what we're going up against. Now, my air army looks terrifying. Keep in mind, he has the defender's advantage. He's going to have more Vikings still. So for that reason, I'm just going to siege this instead. I think it's not too smart to siege the front. I know I'm kind of all-inning here. I'm definitely going to be behind an eco. Oh, there we go. Let's use that interference matrix. A little bit late, actually. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, can we get that? Oh, that's a really nice hit there. I do have the auto turrets, but they suck. Keep that in mind. Okay. Oh, I need to be careful. I'm going to lose 1 raven, I believe. Oh, actually didn't lose any ravens. That's pretty nice. That tank is going to die. Let's go. That is huge. And now he had to fly his starport. Yeah, there are the factories. So I guess I was right about his strategy. And soon... Okay, now this is the time. This is going to be a really big move here. We're going to kill that tank on the front. Oh, both of them actually. There we go. 2 tanks are going to go down here pretty fast. And that is going to be the key to us winning this game, I think. Because he just doesn't... Look how many matrices we have, guys. What is he supposed to do against it? He can't defend his siege tanks at all. Here we go. I'm just going to drop a bunch of turrets here because he doesn't have tanks anymore. My Vikings are doing really well in this trade. They are going to lose out barely. Oh, actually, I need to move this close. There's no other way. There we go. Maybe... Oh, I can actually kill this siege tank with those. That is insane. I have a bunch of Vikings coming in. I actually wasn't hotkeying my stuff properly. So, oh my god, I actually had 1 million Vikings just chilling back there. That's a little bit unfortunate for me. There we go. I'm even going to land these here. The tanks are sieged. They won't be able to shoot my Vikings. Only the one on the edge over there. And there we go. The double starport push. Looking incredibly strong. This was a very big contrast to the last game. I really think the last game, my strategy was completely worthless. But here, this double starport push, you saw how many matrices I had. Every single... I think I matrixed 5 tanks. Is that correct? 5? Maybe 4. And then I even still had energy for all these auto turrets. This strategy looks potent. This might be a new mainstay of TVT. But for now, we're 1-1 in this best of 3. Let's focus and win the last one. Inside and out, map number 3. And all I'm thinking about is, can I do that all in again? It was disgusting. I loved everything about it. That was so powerful. It's completely my style to just abuse something like that at the start of a new patch as well. You know, I find like a disgusting all-in or cheese. I mean, it's not that cheesy, to be fair. I mean, it's a double starboard push, a little bit cheesy. But I did have a 3rd behind it. Probably can go into mech from that, but you know, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit off-standard, but I loved it. It was crazy. But I'm gonna stick to my promise for variety. And I have an idea here. I used to have an all-in where you were actually... I mean, you are supposed to kill the opponent on 1 base with a proxy starport, but sometimes you would fail, and you would end up in a place where you just end up spamming ravens from this starport and trying to make something happen, and now that might actually be even better. So I think that's what I'm gonna do here. You noticed, if you were paying attention, that I'm doing a gas first, which means I'm surrendering my economy for a little bit of tech. I do have to SCV scout, and SCV scouting with gas first is normally forbidden. Illegal move, guys. You can't be hurting your economy by doing a gas first and then also SCV scouting. But this SCV scout is a little bit of a trick. I'm gonna scout his base, or rather, I'm gonna pretend to scout his base, and then I'm gonna go straight on to my proxy starport location. Hopefully in a manner that, you know, makes my movement not look suspicious. And then I'm going to try to obliterate him with Reaper Hellion and a... Guys, I'm going to make a Liberator with this build. This build actually has more of the patch in than I thought. 25 gas, baby. It's going to be cheaper. Let's go. Didn't even realize that. A lot of the little happiness, guys, you can find in just a small patch change. I'm going to get the factory here. He's probably walling off again. He's going to do the same thing every single time. Now, he's going to make the factory in vision again as well. Perfect. And I need to be careful there. It's very common to just walk into someone's base, not paying attention, and then getting trapped. They, you know, up the depot, higher the depot, I guess I should say. And then you're just kind of screwed. But here I was paying attention, and I need this SCV to build a proxy starport. Now, do I make a reactor with... I think I can, actually. I'm just gonna YOLO it. It's crazy because I feel like this build is usually without reactor. But it would make more sense for the follow-up to make a reactor. So for that reason alone, I'm already gonna do it. Do need to make sure to make this starport. I'm gonna make it right here because it's quite hidden and it has place for an add-on. I'm gonna make a liberator and then I'm just gonna be spamming ravens. Hopefully doing a very, very powerful raven all in. With a cheaper liberator, 25 more gas, hell yeah. And I think I need to go with 5 reapers and 4 hellions. That sounds about right. That is actually a build I used to advance from a DreamHack group stage once. I studied my opponent's patterns and I decided that he would die to it, and that's what happened. That's what you get from replay analysis. It's actually pretty nice to do replay analysis sometimes. If you play against an opponent you know, even then it's very tempting to just be like, you know, you go into your brain and you're like, okay, so he played this strategy against this. I guess I'll do this against him and it's gonna work. But if you look at the replay and you actually analyze the weaknesses closely, I know it's difficult, I'm not trying to make it sound easy. Sometimes you'll just find one weakness and it gives you such a confidence that you can execute a build and you just know they will die to it. And that's what happened. And now I'm not sure if this opponent is gonna die to it. I think there's a good chance though. I always think this build was pretty powerful. More powerful than people think. In TVT at pro level, it's actually not very common to cheese because most people believe cheeses are kind of easy to hold as a Terran because you always play, you know, you get a Cyclone fast and whatnot. But then sometimes builds like this can catch you off guard. I'm gonna save this liberator for a little bit. Let's see. Oh, there it is, 125 gas, beautiful. Because I really do want to hit with all my units. I don't want to go with 3 less units. Actually, you're supposed to with this build, by the way. I did mess that up. I forgot that part. You're actually supposed to hit with 6 units. That's what makes it a bit stronger as well. Because you'll go gas first. Yeah, makes sense. Your 5 units hit faster. Okay, so if you guys want to copy this build, you're actually supposed to go a little bit faster and hit at the same time as the liberator. Yeah, that is purely my mistake. Can't put it any other way. Now let's see what he has up here. His Cyclone is here. That is big news. There we go. I'm very early. He's going to drop an auto turret. I'll just back off. And in the meantime, my Cyclone is going to do the work. Or my liberator, rather. The turret is nerfed, so it's already going to be gone. There you go. Did you guys see that timing? Normally, the turret would have been there for 2 seconds longer. And it would have been able to destroy at least one of my units, at least most likely. But now, the auto turret nerf actually helping me out there, which is fantastic. I feel like I'm very fortunate there. I mean, I didn't really do a crazy amount of damage. Oh, I can maybe go here, snipe another SCV. He has way more workers than me, by the way. That's not even close. So I'm really gonna rely on my Raven follow-up here. Let's see. Ooh. All right, then we're going for a little bit of a stim attack, I see. And is that a medevac or is that a Viking building? He has 2 barracks, it seems like. And we have to kill him with this push. Now, luckily for us, our Ravens are arriving at turbo speed. I already have 2 Ravens. I do not have 2 Matrixes, sadly. That is really what I needed here. Let's see what he has. Oh, this is going to be perfect. Is that 1 Marine? I think that's only 1 Marine, guys. Oh, it's 3 Marines. Okay, it's close. No, it's going to work out perfectly. He's going to go for it, but my Liberator is going to win that fight, I think. And there we go. I'm going to Matrix out so I can go in. And now my own units are here. It is going to survive. Look how... Oh, that auto turret is actually crazily weak there. I'm going to drop a turret here to cover my stuff. Maybe I can kill the Viking. Kill the Viking in time. Not quite. Ooh, the tank survives too. That is a little bit of a problem. But at least I killed the Viking. So that's going to remove the threat a little bit. Remember that we saw he had no add-on on that. Well, he did have one now, looks like. But not yet. So at least he's not going to have a crazy amount of units. Okay. I'm gonna shoot that. Let's see if I can get a decent trade here, I think, with this tank. My next tank is coming in with some good Marine split. That tank is only gonna shoot 1 Marine at a time. Drop another turret there. It does still have the DPS, even if it was nerfed in many ways. And it looked like our 1 base... Yeah, well, I mean, I do have a natural, but barely, right? Looks like our attack is actually gonna be a little bit of a success here. I have 4 Ravens on the field already. They just built so fast. And even though the Cyclones were a fail in game 1, the Ravens looking incredibly strong here. Brutal units lost as well, more than double. And even with the second barracks he couldn't hold, I guess you do need the Vikings for this. I did make the mistake. I really should have attacked faster, gotten in there faster, used the momentum. That was on my part, my mistake. But even then, we made it happen, and the Raven All-ins look crazy. Guys, I have 4 Ravens here. How fast is that? So many turrets, so many matrices, such potential. And I think that's going to be it for part 1. If you guys enjoy this, tune in tomorrow for part number 2. Our next opponent is going to be Skillis. Yeah, probably, I think he's a top 6 player in Europe right now, so it's going to be super difficult, but I'll try to make it happen. See you guys then. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and adios.